Hi, I'm Zariah. 6 months ago, I was lying in a hospital bed, excited to meet my baby girl after 26 hours of labor. My husband, Marcus, had stepped out to grab coffee when his mother, Eleanor, arrived unexpectedly. "You're still pregnant?" Eleanor's face twisted with disappointment as she entered my hospital room. "I thought surely you'd have delivered by now." "The doctor says I'm progressing," I replied, shifting uncomfortably as another contraction built. Marcus just stepped out for coffee. Eleanor circled my bed slowly, eyeing the IV lines running into my arm. These modern medical interventions, they're so unnatural. In my day, we just pushed through the pain. My nurse, Valerie, looked up from checking my vitals. "Mrs. Winters, those IVs are providing necessary fluids and medication to help with the labor." "Nobody asked you," Eleanor snapped. "I gave birth to 4 children without any of this nonsense." Valerie gave me a concerned glance. "I'll be right outside if you need anything, Zariah." As soon as Valerie left, Eleanor's entire demeanor changed. "You know, Marcus never wanted children," she said, voice suddenly ice cold. "He only agreed because you threatened to leave him." "That's not true," I said, wincing through another contraction. "We've been planning this baby together for years." Eleanor laughed harshly. "Oh, sweetie, so naive. My son tells me everything. This baby is going to ruin his life, and yours." "Please leave, Eleanor. Marcus will be back any minute." "Marcus doesn't know what's best for him. He never has." She moved closer to my IV pole. "But mothers know. Mothers always know." Before I could react, Eleanor grabbed my IV lines and yanked hard. Searing pain shot through my arm as the needle ripped partially out. "What are you doing?" I screamed, hitting the call button repeatedly. "Fixing a mistake," Eleanor hissed, reaching for the second line. "This baby shouldn't be born. It's better this way." My friend Amber burst through the door. She'd been coming back from the bathroom. "What the hell?" She rushed forward, shoving Eleanor away from my bed. "She's trying to pull out my IVs," I sobbed as monitors started beeping wildly. "You crazy witch!" Amber shouted, standing protectively between us. "Get away from her!" Valerie ran in with another nurse. "What's happening?" "She tried to rip out my IVs," I gasped, clutching my bleeding arm. "She said the baby shouldn't be born." Eleanor's face transformed instantly. "I was just checking if they were secure. She's delirious from the pain, clearly hallucinating." Valerie quickly inspected my arm. "This IV has been partially dislodged. Did you pull this out, Mrs. Winters?" "Absolutely not. I would never harm my grandchild. Zariah must have pulled it out herself during a contraction." "I saw you," Amber stated firmly. "You were pulling at her lines when I walked in." Marcus appeared in the doorway, confusion spreading across his face. "Mom? What's going on?" Eleanor rushed to him, tears suddenly streaming down her face. "Marcus, thank goodness. Your wife is having some kind of breakdown. She's accusing me of horrible things." "She tried to hurt the baby, Marcus," I said, looking directly into his eyes. "She pulled out my IV and said our baby shouldn't be born." His gaze darted between us. "Mom, is this true?" "Of course not. How could you even ask me that? I'm your mother!" Dr. Chen entered amid the chaos. "Everyone except the patient needs to leave immediately. Security has been called." As they ushered everyone out, Marcus lingered in the doorway, his expression torn. That moment, that single moment of hesitation, told me everything I needed to know. 3 days after bringing home our daughter, Lily, I sat nursing her when Marcus approached cautiously. "My mom wants to come see the baby," he said, fidgeting with his wedding ring. "She feels terrible about the misunderstanding." I stared at him, incredulous. "Misunderstanding? She tried to harm our child before she was even born." "She says you're exaggerating what happened. The hospital stress got to everyone." Amber, who'd been staying with us to help, overheard from the kitchen. "Are you serious right now, Marcus? I saw her yanking on those IVs." Marcus sighed heavily. "Look, it's complicated. Maybe she was just checking them." "And saying the baby shouldn't be born?" I interrupted. "Was she just checking on that too?" "She denies saying that." I carefully placed Lily in her bassinet. I want to talk to Valerie, my nurse. She saw the aftermath. Soraya, please don't make this bigger than it is. My mother's devastated, you'd think. Your mother's devastated she got caught, Amber interjected. There's hospital security footage of her entering and leaving. We should request it. Marcus threw up his hands. You're both being ridiculous. My mother would never. Call Valerie, I insisted. Let's hear what she has to say. The next day, Valerie sat across from us at our kitchen table, her expression grave. I've worked labor and delivery for 15 years, she began, stirring her tea. What I saw wasn't an accident or a misunderstanding. Marcus leaned forward. But you didn't actually see my mother pull out the IV, right? No, but I saw the IV line. It wasn't dislodged from movement during contractions. It was forcefully pulled in an outward direction. That's exactly what I've been saying, I said. Furthermore, Valerie continued, I've filed an incident report. The hospital takes attempted harm to patients very seriously. Marcus paled. Incident report? Isn't that excessive? Your wife's medical care was interfered with, Valerie replied firmly. That's assault. My mother wouldn't hurt anyone. I pulled out my phone. I've been recording our conversation since we got home, Marcus. Want to hear what your mother said to me yesterday when you were in the shower? His eyes widened. You've been recording us? That's legal in this state with single-party consent, Amber finished. Play it, Z. I pressed play, and Eleanor's voice filled the room. That little mistake should never have happened. Marcus was going to leave you before you trapped him with this pregnancy. You think you've won, but I'll make sure you both regret this. Marcus sat back, shock evident on his face. She really said that? There's more, I said. I called your sister Jessica yesterday. You called Jess? Why would you? Because I needed to know if your mother's behavior has a pattern, I explained. Jessica told me Eleanor did something similar when she was in labor with Noah 3 years ago. That's not true. Jess would have told me. She tried, Marcus. You didn't believe her either. Valerie cleared her throat. There's something else you should know. The security footage from the hospital has been preserved as evidence. I've seen it. It clearly shows Mrs. Winters tampering with the IV lines. Marcus buried his face in his hands. I don't understand why she would do this. I do, said a new voice from the doorway. Jessica stood there, her expression solemn. And it's time you knew the truth about our mother. 1 week later, we arranged a family meeting at our home. Jessica came early to help me prepare while Marcus paced nervously. She'll deny everything, Jessica warned, bouncing Lily gently. She always does. Not this time, I replied. We have too much evidence. Marcus stopped pacing. I still can't believe Mom told you she thought I'd be better off without a child. Believe it, Jessica said. She told me the same thing about Noah. Said children ruined my potential. The doorbell rang, and Marcus tensed. That's her. Eleanor swept in wearing an expensive dress and carrying a gift bag. There's my precious grandbaby. Come to Grandma. I stepped between her and Lily. You're not touching her. Eleanor's smile faltered. Still hormonal, I see. Marcus, explain to your wife that I'm here to make amends. Sit down, Mom, Marcus said quietly. We need to talk. Eleanor's eyes narrowed as she noticed Valerie sitting in the corner. Why is the nurse here? This is family business. Because she's a witness, I said, to what you did in the hospital. Not this nonsense again. I told you I was checking. Stop lying, Jessica interrupted. We've seen the security footage, Mom. Eleanor's face hardened. What security footage? From the hospital, Marcus explained. It shows you pulling at Zoraya's IVs, deliberately. And we have this, I added, playing the recorded threat she'd made about Lily. Eleanor's facade cracked. That recording is taken out of context. I would never. You did the same to me, Jessica cut in. You told me Noah was a mistake, that he'd ruin my marriage. Jessica, please, Eleanor pleaded. I was trying to protect you both. Children change everything, and rarely for the better. You tried to make me miscarry? I said flatly. You could have harmed or killed both me and Lily. Don't be so dramatic. Eleanor scoffed. I was removing unnecessary medical interventions. Natural childbirth is always— You told me the baby shouldn't be born, I interrupted. Those were your exact words. I was upset. People say things they don't mean when they're upset. Marcus pulled out another phone. I've been recording you too, Mom. Every conversation we've had since Lily was born. Eleanor's eyes widened. You've what? He pressed play, and Eleanor's voice filled the room. That girl trapped you, Marcus. I was trying to help you escape before it was too late, before that baby ruined everything. The color drained from Eleanor's face. You recorded me? Your own mother? You tried to harm my wife and child, Marcus replied, voice shaking. What did you expect me to do? Eleanor's demeanor instantly changed. She lunged toward me, finger pointed accusingly. You turned my children against me. You poisoned them with your lies. I stood my ground. The only poison here is you, Eleanor. I'll make you sorry for this, she hissed, grabbing my arm roughly. No one takes my family from me. Valerie immediately stood. Mrs. Winters, remove your hand now. Stay out of this, Eleanor shouted, squeezing harder. This is family business. Marcus pulled his mother away. Stop it, Mom! You're hurting her! I'm hurting her? Eleanor laughed hysterically. She's destroyed our family, and that baby, that mistake, will ruin your life. Just wait and see. That's enough, Marcus said firmly. You need to leave. Eleanor's face contorted with rage. Fine, but mark my words. You'll regret choosing them over me. I'll make sure of it. As she stormed toward the door, she knocked a photo of Lily off the table, shattering the frame. Oops, she said with a cruel smile. Accidents happen. 2 months later, I sat in a courtroom beside our lawyer, Victoria, watching Eleanor take the stand. The restraining order hearing had turned into something much bigger after Eleanor had shown up at our house multiple times, once attempting to enter through a window. Mrs. Winters, Victoria began, can you explain why you told the hospital staff you were just checking your daughter-in-law's IV when security footage clearly shows you pulling on it? Eleanor shifted uncomfortably. The footage is misleading. I was concerned about the medications they were giving her. Are you a medical professional, Mrs. Winters? No, but as a mother— Please answer only the question asked, the judge interrupted. Victoria approached with a tablet. This is the hospital's incident report, stating the IV was forcibly partially removed, causing bleeding and interruption of necessary medical treatment during active labor. Do you deny causing this? I was trying to help, Eleanor insisted. By saying, and I quote from witness testimony, this baby shouldn't be born? Eleanor glared at me. That's taken out of context. Victoria played the recording of Eleanor threatening me and Lily after her birth. The courtroom fell silent as her venomous words filled the air. Is that your voice, Mrs. Winters? Victoria asked. Eleanor's shoulders slumped. Yes, but I was upset. She was keeping my son and grandchild from me. Your Honor, Victoria said, turning to the judge, we have additional evidence of Mrs. Winters' pattern of behavior. Jessica took the stand next, describing similar incidents during her pregnancy. Then came the police officer who had responded when Eleanor tried breaking into our home. She stated, and I quote, I have every right to see my grandchild, even if I have to take her myself, the officer testified. By the time Marcus testified about his mother's escalating behavior, Eleanor looked defeated. The judge's ruling was decisive. A permanent restraining order, mandated psychiatric evaluation, and charges for attempted assault and breaking and entering. As court adjourned, Eleanor approached us in the hallway, tears streaming down her face. Please, she begged. I'm your mother, Marcus. I made mistakes, but I love you. Don't do this to me. Marcus looked at her sadly. You did this to yourself, Mom. You tried to hurt my wife and daughter. I can't forgive that. I'm sorry. I'll change, I promise. Please don't cut me out of your lives. I stepped forward, Lily secure in my arms. Your apologies mean nothing, Eleanor. You weren't sorry when you tried to harm us. You're only sorry you got caught. Soraya, please, she sobbed. I'm Lily's grandmother. No, I said firmly. You're nothing to her, and you never will be. Later that evening, Jessica joined us for dinner, raising her glass in a toast. To family, the real kind that protects each other. Marcus squeezed my hand. I'm so sorry I doubted you, even for a second. You believed me when it counted, I replied. Amber arrived with dessert. I heard the good news. How does it feel to know she can't hurt you anymore? I looked around at the people who had supported us. Marcus, Jessica, Amber, and even Valerie, who had become a friend through all this. It feels like justice, I answered, watching Lily sleep peacefully in her bassinet. And like a fresh start. As we shared stories and laughter, I realized that sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about creating boundaries that protect what matters most. Eleanor had tried to destroy my family before it even began. But instead, she had only succeeded in strengthening the bonds between those of us who truly cared for each other. What would you do if someone tried to harm your family? Would you find the strength to stand up and fight, even against those who should have loved you most?